afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'm Nick Turner, Chair of the Chartered Clubs Committee. If you're able to stand, would you please join me in a Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have one member of the committee missing today, Sandra Forsey. She has an excused absence, and the rest of us are present, so we have a quorum. And I'll begin, as usual, by reading the meeting procedure statement. The Governing Board and its committees conduct all of their meetings in compliance with Arizona Planned Community Association open meeting laws, ARS 33-1804, and in concert with Recreation Centre Sun City West bylaws, policies and standing rules. Parliamentary procedures, as outlined in the most recent edition of Robert's Rules of Order, will also be followed in all meetings as appropriate, consistent with Bylaw 307, Procedures for Owner-Member Meetings and Standing Rules number 2 and number 3. Okay, so we move to first item on the agenda, approval of the minutes of the last meeting. Do we have from the committee any comments or amendments to those? Nope, we do not, so we'll take those as approved. And we'll move on to item number 3, 301 reports. Casey?
All right, thank you. Happy New Year, everybody. Feels weird saying that, not gonna lie. Last year just doesn't seem like it should have been over already, but a new year means a lot of new officers that we are recognizing already. So email got sent out to your current presidents. If you are new in here, then they should forward it to you. If not, I will see you guys definitely at the officers meeting this week. But a couple of just kind of friendly reminders, and you will hear about this week, is just make sure as a new officer president, primarily, make sure that you're scheduling appointments with the scheduling department and going over your current year activities. Okay, so we had a lot, and we go over this over and over and over, and we still have clubs that show up on days they shouldn't be showing up, or forgetting that they had an activity planned that the past president signed off on that they didn't know. So please just make sure that once you guys are in office that you're going and you're scheduling an appointment with our scheduling department to make sure that your calendars match ours. And then meeting your leads. So every facility has a lead, and if you have specific setups, they're the ones you're gonna wanna talk to, because we want your event to be as successful as possible. In order for that to happen, you need to be making sure that you're communicating with them, okay? There has been a lot of cleanup on that, so we do appreciate that from the past years. And then just be sure that you understand the RRMPs that are gonna be proposed. It's actually happening today. For those of you that are new officers, don't know what's going on, please make sure you're paying attention, especially today. Our RMPs are the rules and procedures here that is actually governed by our governing board. And then, as usual, the CR5 is the officer list. I sent an email out to all of the current presidents or presidents from last year to get those in ASAP, because I want to make sure that the new officers get all the information from me, and until I receive those, you will not get it. So get on your officers if you're a new officer, okay? I know that's a lot of officers in one sentence. Can I just see if there's any questions after that one?
Yeah, any questions from the committee? Any questions from the audience?
No. Okay.
No, and nothing online.
Okay, good. And then we're doing a kids club. No, it's not misspelled. That's really how we're spelling it. Kids club. If you are a chartered club and you want to open your doors to kids' activities during your scheduled hours, operating hours, you're more than welcome to do so, but we will ask that you put in a CR11, which is a special event, which I'll just go ahead and approve. So we know what's going on in case people come and ask, questions. We want to make sure that we can give them the correct information. It is not mandatory. It's just something, I think the Ceramics Club was the one that did 2 weeks worth last year, and they did a very good job. So thought we would follow suit and try that out this year. Okay. And then just some fun upcoming events. Theater West, Love Letters, tickets are available now. That opens up next week, the 16th. Then we have ARC, their annual car show on Valentine's Day. So if you need a activity or date, there you go. Smell of fumes. And then February 21st through 22nd is Palo Verde Patchers Quilt Show. If you've never attended that, I highly encourage that you do swing by. They have some really talented quilters that come in from all around America, actually, and it's 100% fundraiser. So it's a very good event that they do put on. And then March 3rd, Fitz, it's their pickleball tournament. And then Swing in the Spring from Tennis is at the end of March 26th through 29th. Moving on. And then save the dates, Chartered Club Officers Meeting. Do I sound like a broken record yet? Yes, good. That's this week. It is mandatory for Chartered Club officers to attend this. We ask that for sure the president and at least delegate one other officer if you can attend. And then if not, we will have sign-in sheets. If your club does not attend, we'll be calling you for a makeup, okay? Newcomers, Wednesday is February 11th. You all should have received an email. Christy did get another good overwhelming response from the club, so good job. I think she got about 60 responses of yeses. So another successful newcomers on our way. We will be doing a different way of marketing. We're not going to do mail outs this year like we normally do. We send probably 1,100 out and we get half back for some reason. So if you want a handful to share with your club, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, we're going to have them out at each rec center, and we're going to just be promoting it through whether it's rec news, e-news, social media, so on and so forth. And then club reservations, the CR6s. Again, if you're a new officer, this is an extremely important date for you. We will go over it at the officers meeting, but May 1st at 8 a.m. is when these are going to be due. So again, we will have more definitive information for you this week. Well, Laura will. I let Laura do that portion of it. And then just in case you need that schedule again, here's the schedule for the officers meeting. Starts tomorrow, and then on Thursday, and then PAC Performing Arts is on Friday, and next Thursday is golf. So, and that is on there. It's just, we need to scroll it down a little bit. And that would do it.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee for Casey?
Tracy.
Any questions from the audience?
Tracy.
Oh, Tracy. I'm sorry, with the broadcast it needs to.
Hello, Tracy Anderson, 132045, president of the Lawn Bowling Club. Question, I'll address it to the chair so that he can ask. The information that the rec center wants to give out about the newcomers, how do we get it? Do we go to the member services? Do we stop by and take Casey out to lunch? I mean, what do we do?
I don't eat lunch. There's no time for food. You just email me, Tracy.
Okay.
If you don't have my email, I promise you'll have it by tomorrow or Thursday. Plenty of opportunities to see my email and have it take home
Thank
with you.
Thank you. All right, if there's nothing more for Casey, we'll move on to 302 Club Liaison Reports, and I'll start in the middle this time with Kathy.
Oh, right. I wanted to start by thanking the rec staff at Summit Hall and Social Hall. They managed all the fitness classes, all the dance classes, and membership and holiday parties. Hopefully the floors survived. Always a tough time, but they did a great job. I want to thank them. And also, I looked up, the flu season is here, and Arizona is currently in a moderate area, but the areas where people travel to are much worse. So we're just asking for the indoor clubs. If you're unwell, please stay home so everybody that wants to exercise or dance can continue to do that without spreading any germs. Some of our clubs are getting very big. Our beginner dance classes, both country western and line dancing, are at 40 and 50 people. That's great. I think it's due to TikTok or those things where you get to watch synchronized dancing or something. It's really growing, which is great. And of course, our yoga is crazy big. And the classes close 5 minutes before, so get there early, and the chair yoga classes are the most popular. I think that's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Denise?
I've actually met with one of my clubs with the new officers, and I'm still waiting for the list, so we can get, as soon as everybody passes their information into Casey, be able to get back to that.
Okay, thank you. David?
I was involved in getting information on the RRPs to all of my clubs too, so they could make comments and get them back to us before today. And other than that,
Did you get any?
I got a couple of comments, yes, but not about the RRPs. They said they look good, and thanks for the information. So, and one said I was doing a good job, so I like that. So, and then as soon as I plan on trying to attend more meetings and contact the new officers.
Thank you, David. Nancy?
I have seen all of my clubs except for one. We just keep missing. I've attended a lot of their meetings and some of their social things, and have really gotten to know my clubs actually pretty well. I have one request that I don't know where it's going to go to, so it will go to you, Nick or Casey. I have the Weavers, who are a great group with all of their weaving and all of their materials. They're going to go to a weaving conference or gathering, whatever they do, and they're going to make little packages for people, but they want to put in some sort of promotional item from Sun City West. You know how we used to have the magnets and, you know, there's different things, but they would like to, when they put they're making crocheting stuff and weaving things. And they want to put something in that little package, Casey, and I don't even know where to take that, but, you know,
I'll find some swag.
just something, some swag
Can
to
you
put in there.
tell them to email me?
I will,
so
okay.
I get it in a timely manner.
Yeah, in a timely manner, okay. Other than that, none of my clubs had any ideas or anything with the RRPs. They load them in, they read them as soon as they get them, and pass them on to the next president. So I think that they're doing the right thing, and they seem to be really up to date on them. So other than that, that's about it. They're really good clubs. They know what they're doing out there. There's nothing to fix.
Well, no, that's good news.
It's really good news. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. John?
Thank you. Did get a couple responses back to the RRNP request to review, and I did forward those on to Pat, so hooray for the hobby clubs. Wanted to remind everybody to go check out the Desert Garden Club on the first Saturday of each month from 8 to noon, and every Thursday from 9 to noon. They have some gorgeous plants out there for sale. That's it.
Cheryl?
Okay, I have the other half of the craft clubs. I've been out of town quite a bit, so I will be visiting everybody starting soon. I hope everybody saw The Independent with woodworking, was on the front page, making all of their toys, excellent toys to give away. I have to say, though, the craft clubs have, since October, have been working for December, to their giveaways and their help. 10,000 cards, people. That's a lot of cards to make. As well as these same people are working with churches. They're working off of their dining room tables as well, making things. Several of them from the sewing clubs. Okay, they've been working with the posse, they've been working with the fire department, and they've been working with the sheriff's department, making things. A lot of these people make things on their own time, their own money, effort. It says a lot about this community. And there's always things in the Independent, in the Rec Center News, on the information forums that are sent out, the individual neighborhoods, churches, the library. Everybody here does a fantastic job, and I just want everybody to know that.
Yes, this is a general reminder for clubs that are doing things for outside organisations, raising funds, having giveaways and so on. Let the old liaisons know, and we can give you a shout out here as well. Pat?
I have
Sorry, for what, my statement? Oh, I was just reminding clubs which are doing fundraising, giveaways, making toys, and so on, that to let their liaisons know what they've done and what they've been doing, how much money they raised, who they helped, and we can give them a shout out here from the platform during the Chartered Clubs meetings as well.
Okay, I have most of the sports clubs. I've been to the sportsmen's board meetings, the softball meetings, cyclist meetings. When I get the new list of officers for next year, I will go around again and get together with all of them, check out what they're doing. We have a lot of fun sports things going on here, so I'll meet all the new officers when I get that new list.
Thank you. Any questions from the audience for the liaisons? There's nothing online. So we'll move on to new business now, and our first item is the radio station, KSCW, which I know is on the top of everybody's favourite radio stations list. It is. And they have some services at the radio station that they can offer the clubs, and so here's the...
Hi. Is there a microphone here?
Yes, there is.
It is. Hey, okay, all right. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. Okay, good. We're ready to go. Good. Greg, could you put up that very first slide of the deck, please? Good. My name is Joel Piaskowski. I'm a member of the Broadcast Club, and joining me today is Linda Merrick, who is also a member of the Broadcast Club and our current club president. So we're here specifically to talk to the chartered clubs about how they can use the radio station to let the community know about their club and any special events that the clubs are about to do, okay? So in addition to that, we're just going to give you a very brief 4-slide just overview about the radio station. Broadcast Club does operate the radio station. So we are 103.1 FM, KSCW. Our tagline is the voice from the heart of Sun City West. Okay. Second slide, please, Greg. Okay. The club was founded in 2013. We are located in the men's building. And if you go by the men's building, you're going to see this really huge antenna that reaches up to the clouds. That's where the radio station is. We are a 501c3 organization. Okay. Your donation is tax deductible. One of the ways that the radio station operates is from underwriting from local area businesses and also donations from people in the community. So if you need a tax write-off, we'd love to have a donation, okay? Members of the Broadcast Club have a combined 250 years of experience in the radio industry. We have 7 club officers and 5 committee chairs. Next slide, please, Greg. And Linda, I'm going to turn it over to you for the next one.
Well, I was going to address the 501c3. like Joel said, we do get our money from underwriters. And so we are constantly trying to recruit businesses who would like to advertise with us. And so underwriting is one way we get money, dues is another, and donations. And still, it doesn't amount to a whole lot of money every year, but this year we were able to donate $5,000 to a total of 3 different charities, the 2 food banks, St. Mary's and Valley View, and the Community Fund. So we are also a charitable organization. We do things for the announcements for the clubs, and we don't charge them any money. Some organizations that are maybe outside of Sun City West that are for profit, we might ask for a donation, but most of the things that we do, we don't charge anything for them. Yeah, we are a low-powered community station, and we cover an area of approximately 5 to 10 mile radius. We have, you can see the antenna. How many of you have listened to our station, 103.1 KSCW? And you know that you can stream it online at suncitywestradio.com. And if you have a smart speaker in your home, you can just tell it, play KSCWLP, and you can get our station that way too. If you have a home that has stucco siding, the sound waves don't necessarily come through there very well, so you may be better off listening to the station online or through your smartphone. Let's see. Yeah, worldwide coverage because we stream online. I was talking to one of our new programmers who has his own show, and he was able to get into the computer through one of our engineers and found out that he's got over 200 listeners overseas to his new radio show. So that was kind of interesting to find out. Anyway,
Greg, next slide, please. Okay, all right. So in addition to all of the music and formats that we play, one of the things also that the radio station is very proud of is that we provide information and education to the community, all right? Through the following, we have our community chat show, all right? We have Talking Golf, keeps everybody up to date on what's going on with the golf community. We have our Rec Center show, that very simple, and I know I see some faces here who have been on it, all right? Casey's been on it, Cliff, obviously Mr. Erno. So keeping everybody in tune with what's happening in the community as far as the Rec Center goes. The Not Old Better show, Stardust Spotlight, and then of course, one of the big things we do is all of the public service announcements for organizations around the area, whether it be Posse, the library, Helping Hands, etc. Okay, so we're not just music, we're a lot more.
Can I say something about community chat?
You certainly can. You're the president.
Yeah. Yeah, wear a big hat. That's a show in which community members have a chance to talk to listeners of the radio. And we try to get people in there that maybe have something important to say about something that will educate the community, about maybe what Helping Hands does or the library, but also members of our community who have just done something really interesting, maybe unique to everyone else, that has a story that they think the community would like to hear. So if you are one of those people or you know of someone, hey, that would make a good community chat show, speak up, let them know that the radio station would like to hear from them. Okay?
Great, thank you, Linda. Okay. Just for everybody's knowledge, the radio station, every Thursday, we are open from 9 to noon. It's an open house. You can stop in, you can ask questions, see what the radio station's about, what the broadcast club is about. But what Linda mentioned, if any of you know anybody who might be, someone interested in a community chat show, Thursday mornings, they could stop in and talk to us. Okay? All right, next slide, Greg. Okay. Very simply, we cover a ton of music formats. The golden oldies, easy listening, rock in a classic and soft rock format, smooth and classic jazz, blues and gospel, and a number of specialty shows. Greg, were you able to find that program guide and put it up, or can you pop that up, please? program? There we go. Okay, if you can pull that up just a little bit there. But this is our program guide, and I brought one of these along for each of the members of the Charter Club Committee. Casey, would you mind just passing that down so everybody can grab one? If you open that up, that's our program guide. Great document, slide in a piece of paper, get it laminated, put it on your refrigerator. You'll know what's all going on. So just a very brief explanation. You see the big yellow part, the golden oldies during the daytime. All right, that is music from late 50s, 60s, 70s, and now including some of the early 80s. All of the different colored little boxes you see on there, those are some of the shows we mentioned earlier, the Rec Center show, Community Chat. We even have comedy that I forgot to mention, Molly and Bess. If you ever want a good laugh during the day, tune in for 15 minutes and listen to Molly and Bess and the trouble they get into. But all the different formats of what we have are specialty shows, most of them. And these are a lot of shows that the Broadcast Club members do. I do a show which is on Monday nights and Friday nights, JP's Blues Room, which is 100% blues music. Our club president, Linda, she does a special show she's been doing for years called Tributes. Linda, why don't you tell our audience what Tributes is all about?
Each week it's a different topic, and the idea is to pay homage to great contributions to the world of music. So the topic might be, next week it's going to be girl groups. So I have girl musicians, singers like the Supremes and the Shangri-Las and the Chiffons and so forth, through the years, the 50s through the 90s. Or it could be a holiday or a musical instrument. I've done a show on the harmonica and the piano and the flute. Or award shows, Grammy Awards, just something that would be of interest to people. And the show has a lot of music going on in it. So that's my show.
Good. Thank you, Linda.
Yep.
One of the shows I want to mention out that we started last year, but it's really gotten a lot of great feedback from people. On Saturday nights, if you're just hanging out, Saturday night for 3 hours, it's the Saturday Night Dance Party. So all dance music from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. So if you're just hanging out and you want some good music to listen to, just tell your smart speaker to play KSCW LP. Okay? All right. I have some extras of those up here for any of the new club presidents, but I'm going to leave them right here. You can come up and grab one. Also, there is a little brochure on the Broadcast Club if you are interested in taking one of those. So, what I'd like to do next, we've got 4 spots that actually air on the radio, 4 clubs. So we want you to listen to them. Maybe give you some ideas, all right? And for, the club liaisons and anybody here from the clubs, if you have, there's 2 things that we can do for you. One is just a general announcement about the club. Second is if you have any special events coming up, okay? I.e., I know it's coming up, the car show for ARC, we'll be doing a special announcement, for them coming up in that. But, get a hold of us. You have your thoughts, your ideas. We work with you. We've got people who have years of experience in, writing the script, to get it out there, make it sound good and everything. So please take advantage of the radio station. Okay. Greg, are you ready? Okay. The first one we're going to listen to is from the Garden Club.
It's time to plant new plants or replace those that didn't make it through the summer heat. The Sun City West Desert Garden Club hosts monthly plant sales on the first Saturday of each month from 8 to noon at Beardsley Rec Center. Thursday plant sales run from 9 to noon each week. Club members will be on hand during sales to answer questions and offer gardening advice. The plant sales are open to the public. All net proceeds help fund educational programming and local charities. The Beardsley Recreation Center greenhouse is located at 12755 West Beardsley Road, Sun City West. Complete information is available online at garden.scwclubs.com.
Okay, good. Now, one of the things we can do on the spots, as you heard, we added what is called a tasty music bed. And that, of course, was just a version of Garden Party by Ricky Nelson. If anybody recognized that song, I know you were over there going, nodding on it and that. So, okay, good. The next one, a fun one, the Karaoke Club.
Now you know, Sun City West has a karaoke club. Imagine that. Okay, you can't sing. That doesn't matter. You can attend the club, make friends, and listen to many genres of music. You'll even find yourself singing along. Every Thursday from 5:30 to 8:30 at the R.H. Johnson Social Hall, both singers and non-singers gather for 3 hours of fun. Food and beverages are both allowed. Mark your calendars for Thursdays at the R.H. Johnson Social Hall from 5:30 to 8:30. Look for the large karaoke sign outside the doors.
I want to say something too. Most of the people that you hear on the radio and those of us who have shows have had no radio experience at all. We have all learned this in the club. Those that have been on the radio or have had careers in radios are people that people we've contracted with that come in and help us, and they're very valuable. But most of us on the radio have not had any radio experience. We've learned it in this club. Okay.
Okay, great. Third one, Greg, if you're ready, from the Photography Club.
If you like to travel vicariously, the Photography Club of Sun City West offers the opportunity each Friday morning at 10 at the Stardust Theater through May. During the summer months, the event will be held monthly. Sun City West residents are invited to join the event and view the world through beautiful photographs on the big screen at no charge. For complete information and a schedule, check their website at photography.scwclubs.com. That's photography.scwclubs.com.
And of course, that music bed was Cliff. You got it. You win the prize. Okay. Last one we're going to play is from the Railroad Club.
Autumn has arrived and the Sun City West Railroad Club is back in operation. The large G-scale operation at Beardsley Rec Center is operating Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from noon to 2. Along with that, their N-scale and HO scale trains at the R.H. Johnson Rec Center are in operation. Plus, special events are scheduled November through early January for the upcoming holiday season. Come and enjoy the hobby along with the Choo Choo Chicks, their lady members, who will also be helping to make this a success. They hope to see all members, visitors, and families. Complete information is available online at railroad.scwclubs.com.
Good. I always love hearing about the Choo Choo Chicks. All right. So those were just 4 of the spots from the clubs. We do have a lot of clubs, that do utilize the radio station, but we wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of it so that your clubs can utilize it. The one thing for all liaisons and any club presidents or officers are here, we do need a couple-week lead time. Do not come into the radio station on Monday and say, hey, can you get this going on Wednesday? It won't happen, okay? So are there any questions at all that I can answer for anybody? Or Linda can answer?
Can you tell us where you're physically located?
We are physically located in the men's building where the guys play cards, right between the Arc building and the pickleball courts, the Sands pickleball courts. There's that one level building. So it's the men's building. Yeah, R.H. Johnson. R.H. Johnson. Yes.
A big fan. It's on all of my radios. And I was here when you guys were trying to get the license and that.
Wonderful,
and
thank you.
It just brills at you guys, what you guys are pulling off, I think. I also wanted to thank you. My church does Feed My Starving Children, a big event for a lot of different people in this area and other people that come and help us pack that food for the kids. And you guys always are so good to help us get it out and, get it online and put the registration information out. It's just a really big help. So it's not only just us, but you guys help a lot of the people in the community.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. People still do listen to the radio, believe it or not. They do. Great. Any other questions or comments from?
And no more from the committee, anything from the audience? No?
No, great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The brochures are up here if anybody wants to grab one. Thank you.
We do have one online question, but I'll address that at the end of the meeting when we get to member comments. Okay, the next item of new business is the capital improvement projects which are relevant to chartered clubs. This is part of our annual duties. We get to make a recommendation on these to the governing board. That recommendation vote, if you like, we won't be taking yet. That will be in at least 1 month, possibly 2 months' time at least before we make that. This is just an initial introduction. There may be changes to the list or changes to the values that you see on the list as more work is done. But please use this opportunity to ask questions, research. If you wish, go out and have another look at the actual physical sites. But for the first time, stepping into Carl's shoes, we have Herschel. And we wish Herschel well, actually, in his new role. And for the second time, he's presenting this because he did meet with Budget and Finance this morning. But okay, but Herschel.
Thank you. Good afternoon. So a little bit different than what I did Budget and Finance this morning. I didn't go over the color blocks with them as they had previously seen those earlier in another meeting. But I'm going to go over the color blocks with you folks as they pertain to all the projects related to the charter clubs. And then several of these, especially the ones that are over $50,000, I'll go more in depth on an over $50,000 presentation right after the color block. So if you can hold all your questions to the end, then I can answer all the questions at that time. So starting off, we have a couple of new proposed capital projects, the ARC Building Addition Phase 3. I'll go into that a little bit more in depth in the over 50K presentation. The Lapidary Club Design and Planning. Those are planning dollars for the upcoming year. We did a walkthrough in the Lapidary Club and saw that there's a lot of things that need to be addressed in there. And we wanted to sit down with the clubs and address all their needs before we move forward with any sort of work. So we're going to sit down with these planning architects and go through the club's needs and come up with a design for inclusion into a project for next year. The softball fence project, that's one that I'll address in the over 50K presentation, but we have some fencing work we're going to do at the softball fields. The Stardust Theater Door Entry Doors Replacement Project, that's a $35,000 project. We're going to be, if you've been to the theater, the doors are going to be pushed out and there's going to be a little vestibule created, so it'll create a little bit more room for people as they're coming into the facility, waiting in the lobby area and everything. The next project is the pickleball courts resurface. That's just a resurfacing of the pickleball courts, 11 through 18. Platform tennis, that's another project I'll go into a little further in depth in the over 50K presentation, as well as the ARC roofing project and the flooring project for ARC. And that's it for the color blocks. So the over 50K projects that we're proposing for this year. This is just an overview of the overall CIP budget, and this includes all areas of the CIP. So our new capital projects are approximately $1.3 million. Our repair and replacement projects for recreation are about $2.3 million. Our repair and replacement for golf and landscaping is about $8.5 million. There's some large irrigation projects that need to be done there. And I'll touch on the allowances later on for an overall proposed CIP of $12.5 million. So the ARC Building Phase 3 Showroom Edition, that was originally budgeted at $960,000. ARC gave money to the rec centers for going out to get a design. I anticipate having that design early next week. Once I get that design in hand, I'm going to be able to go out and get some quotes from some general contractors to firm up this budget price. And we'll probably be coming back at a later meeting, possibly next month, with a little bit more firm numbers for this project. Our R&R recreation items in the 26-27 budget. So here's that outfield fencing project I was talking to you about. Currently, the outfield fence from left to right field is a 24-foot high fence, and then there's 6 feet of net above that. The netting is deteriorating. We took a look at that fence and received quotes on replacing that whole fence from left field to right field with a 30-foot fence. This will involve taking out the whole existing fence, crash pads, and the foundations, and installing new 8-inch posts and foundations, as well as the new fencing. We'll also be replacing the fencing down both the first and third field baselines, and then we'll also be replacing the practice areas and turf replacement along the first and third baselines. Stardust Theater curtain replacement. That's valued at $60,000. The current stage curtains that are there are not up to fire code. So as a result, we spend $12,000 every 3 years to spray a fire retardant on those curtains. We are looking to replace those curtains with fire-rated curtains, so we will no longer have to spend that $12,000 every 3 years to bring those curtains up to code. So we'll get a return on investment for that item in probably between 10 to 15 years. Arc flat roof restoration. It's $59,500. This is just a resurface of the existing roofing material to extend the warranty another 10 years. And this is what we have done with all of our roofs here in the rec centers to preclude any water intrusion and future damage in our facilities. Also at ARC, we're going to be doing epoxy flooring rehab. You can see the condition of the current epoxy floor. We're going to grind that epoxy off, finish the concrete with a polished concrete finish, and then that will allow us to not have to put any coating down on that flooring for several years to come. And it's a major return on investment for that particular project as well. Finally, one of the late additions to our CIP was the platform tennis renovation. We have that valued at $305,000. That's going to include putting new post-tension slabs over the existing foundations that are there for those courts. Install new fencing. We're told that the fencing is not as workable as it used to be. Upgrade the lighting to LED lightings and do some other miscellaneous site work. All of this is designed to address some safety issues that we currently have with those courts. A couple of the courts are now closed and not used in any way, shape, or form. And I'm available to answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, we'll start with the committee. Nancy.
Hey, where is this showroom going to be in the ARC building? Is that going to be out front where they put the garden area?
Where the shade structure is right
Yeah,
now, basically it's that shade structure is going to be replaced with in the picture, if you could pull up the presentation one more time, I can kind of show you.
I know they had talked about that in the very beginning.
So that shade structure there, if you look at the drawing down there to the lower right,
Yeah.
they're basically going to build a curved structure on the front of that building to replace that shade structure.
And it will all be attached to the actual building?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
I listened to the budget and finance meeting this morning. I came away a little bit more confused about the platform courts. I don't know what that is exactly, but they talked about red ball having growth factor. I don't know about platform. Will they be able to use the same court? Do they need the same size court?
The red ball can use the platform tennis courts for their red ball.
So we're calling it platform, but it could just be a multi.
It can be both. It can be both.
Any more questions from the committee? Yep. Any questions from the audience for Herschel? We have one question online. It's from Lynn Kellis 129120. Did I miss the allocation of funds for the Clay Club renovation? I was quoted 2 weeks ago, 30,000 was earmarked for this. However, I do not see it here.
Cliff, can you address the Clay Club route?
I'll try and speak to it. So last season, The Charter Club Committee heard from 4 clubs. There was kind of some utilization studying. I'm not going to call it space utilization, but that was happening. It was proposed to look into that a little further for this year's Chartered Club Committee. So I'm not sure really what has conspired of that at this point, because we have so many other projects that have kind of taken over a little bit. So I would assume Clay Club could probably, the president of Clay Club needs to probably send an email out to probably Nick, maybe.
Yeah, and I think,
Cliff is here as well.
yeah, I think also we talked about it in the context of master planning and kind of looking at the spaces over at Palm Ridge and the other rec centers as well before we move forward with any particular plan. There's a part of the master plan is that there's a space utilization study that we're going to be doing as well. So we'll be assessing all the club spaces and everything as part of the master plan. So I think that's why it didn't move forward, but I didn't receive any CR form or anything this year to move that forward anyway.
Yeah, my understanding too is that this was something that was going to be looked at with part of the master plan. Is that a general view of where we need space, how we find space, for places. If that doesn't answer the question from the Clay Club, let email us anyway, and we'll get back to you.
Nick,
David.
it was my understanding that nothing really was going to be going forward until they found a place for photography to go to. And so, again, that ends up going to be part of the master plan, I assume. So, unfortunately, any other things I thought was on hold until something could be determined.
Okay. Anything else? Nancy?
It seems that you would want to do your facility usage study and your master plan, pretty far along before you make a commitment to change clubs around. And that is perfectly wise. We've done a facility usage study. I've been involved twice. And without doing that first and really sitting down, brains on the table and thinking, I agree that needs to be on hold until we look at everything that we have here. So, good idea.
Okay, I do have an additional comment from Lynn. We were told that the decision would be made in December. I was then quoted by a governing board member 2 weeks ago that there is $30,000 earmarked for this. I think it's probably better if we take this offline. Lynn, you can email me and we can have a conversation about it and with related parties. Any more for Herschel? No, well, thank you very much, Herschel. We'll look forward to updates. My understanding is that any further presentations we get from Herschel will just be changes. And if you have any questions that crop up on the under 50,000 as well, we can ask those later. Okay. Next item on the agenda, RRMP Revisions Working Group. We presented in January a draft of revisions to the RRMPs. We asked for feedback. We have received feedback that has been taken into consideration, and there are some more changes as a result, and Pat will be taking us through those.
As Nick said, we did get some comments from the committee members and some clubs. None of them expressed any real concerns. Most of it seemed to have to do with rewriting some of the paragraph sentences and so on to make them a little more clearer and a little easier to understand. So we've done quite a bit of that. A few of those, there's still some numbering issues throughout the document, and those of you that have ever worked with Word understand how difficult it is with the auto numbering to get it correct. So when we get the document approved, I will manually correct those. He's smiling. It's really hard to fix all that. So anyway, I've been working on that. Other than that, I didn't really get much of any big items to change. There are, if you look at the new ones that are on this attachment, you'll see some more, it's all redlined, some of the areas where people did send in just some issues that with clarifications on things. Laura, if you'll put up attachment 2, it's the, this is the, I talked about this last month, we didn't have this form, and in the accommodation section that there is a checklist now that we're going to link to this chapter, so that if some club does request an accommodation request, all of these items have to be detailed in that request before it to be considered. So this is just a checklist for the clubs to use when they're submitting their accommodation request. So that's about all that I have for what we've done. The new ones are attached as a to this minute. So.
Any questions from the committee on the latest version of the RRMP? Any questions, comments?
Can you tell us what the process moving forward now will be, now that we've finished our work on the working committee? How does it get out into the clubs?
If there are no more changes as a result of any comments from the committee or the audience or online today, we can make a recommendation vote today to move it to the governing board. The item is already on the agenda for the governing board workshop for this coming Friday. If we choose not to make a recommendation, I will write to President Novello and that will be removed from the agenda on Friday. The commitment I did make to President Novello is that we would, this would all be finished probably by March, you know, that the governing board can make their votes in March, and if that failed, it would be April. We are running ahead of that. That, you know, that's the next step.
So if it's approved by the governing board, then it would be released by the rec center to all club presidents? Do we notify them? What's the process?
Yes, I don't know whether yes, we do. We do notify them. Casey sends out a notification. Casey arranges for the new version to be posted on the club's website as part of the documentation. And then it goes into effect. Okay. Yeah, straight away. As for those of you who remember last year, we made a recommendation. We introduced the RRMPs to the governing board. They had a couple of weeks between the introduction and then a final meeting of discussion. They had a meeting of discussion and they agreed all of the changes apart from one. And that change was removed. And then the RRMPs were republished then without that one change. So it didn't come back to the committee here. The governing board just removed one change. So that said, any more questions from the committee on the RRMPs? Do we have any more comments from the audience? I know the previous club presidents have all had copies of the draft. They've all been emailed and asked for input. The liaisons have reached out directly to those presidents. So I do believe that we have had sufficient time for comments to come back from those. Are there any more from the audience? No, and I do not see any more online. So I'll ask the committee, do you feel that you've had time to absorb the changes? Do you feel sufficient that you can make a recommendation to the governing board on these at this time? Yeah, we'll do that. So, anybody object? No? Okay, so these will be moved forward to the governing board. They'll be with our recommendation for adoption. I will introduce them at the workshop. With those members of the working group who are able, if they can attend the governing board workshop on Friday, just in case there are questions that come up, that would be useful too.
I think that we have to be aware that clubs and presidents are tired of having RNPs put at them every year, and they're getting numb to it. And my clubs, I've learned so much from them. They really are organized. They know what to do. But when you say those little letters, they blur right over. They don't care what you send whatever you want. They do look at them. They're really well aware of them. Club presidents are changing either in January or April. Some clubs are changing at a different time. I just think we need to be aware. We don't want to hit them over the head too many times, but I told them all they're coming down the chute, and they rolled their eyes, and they're going to take them and they're going to read them and give them over to the new president. So it's just something they're getting a little blurred with.
Yeah, I understand. It's a large document. It can be complex and difficult to understand, but we are required by policy to review them every year. We don't necessarily need to make any changes, but we are required to review them every year, so that process will always go through. I also feel it's important that we get the feedback from the clubs as well. So unfortunately, it's one of those tasks that goes with being an officer of a club, that these things do get thrown at you, because if we don't get the feedback from the clubs, then people wanting to know why we didn't get any feedback. So it's something that we do have to ask for. So that, hopefully, that is now complete for another year as far as the committee is going, but the governing board may throw them back to us. No. Yeah. So now, so moving on, 404, new Beardsley mural update. This is just for information only. At the Arts and Crafts building at Beardsley, there are 2 murals as you approach from the car park there, between those open, at the side of the open breezeways, where you've got clay and photography. So on the left-hand side, the card rooms on the right-hand side. They're suffering some wear and tear. I believe they've been there just about since when the building was constructed. And so the Properties Committee is leading an effort by the Clay Club and by the Glass Fusion and Copper Club to replace those murals. Because it's the clubs are involved, I've had a couple of questions about it. It's an initiative which is being run by the Properties Committee because it affects the properties with the help of the club. It's not a charter club's issue. So if anybody does have any questions about that, it will be something you need to be talking to the Properties Committee about. Okay, and that's all I have on that item. Right, moving on to, we have no new items left, so moving on to committee comments. And we'll start at this end this time. John, any additional comments? No. Cheryl? Pat? Kathy? Denise?
Just want to thank the group that did the RRMPs for a great job done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
David?
Yes, I was on the committee, but I wanted to thank Pat for her leadership and everybody's. I didn't feel I did that much because by the time I got around to find something, it seemed like somebody else had already found it and checked it. So, but anyway, Pat just took off and ran with it. And so again, I want to thank everybody that was on the working group.
Nancy? No, I'd like to thank the working group as well. I participated in the working group last year, and we had, an intensive meeting schedule, working through a large document. And I think the working group this year had an even more intense schedule. So it is a lot of time, it's a lot of man hours that you put in, and thank you for that. Okay.
I'd like to thank all of them for helping me. We had a great group. We worked really well together, and I'd put out a little something, and I'd say, you guys work on it. Next thing I know, everybody was sending me back their ideas. And so we weren't just meeting when we met, we were emailing back and forth too. So we got a lot done in, we think, a short period of time. So thank you guys for all your help.
All right, any comments on any club topics from any members in the audience? Yeah, I have one comment online that came in earlier. This is from the Basketeers, which is, how do we know who our club liaison is? We will reach out to you. We'll have the liaisons reach out to you, the Basketeers.
They were not at the last.
Cheryl, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, your liaison is Cheryl, and Cheryl will reach out or reach out to Cheryl.
On the little sheet from my rec manager report, it's on there. It actually shows you who your liaisons are, and then your liaisons will be attending, right? Okay, we'll be attending all of the meetings this week. So if you haven't met them in person, you'll have the opportunity to do so tomorrow and Thursday.
Yes, because all of the new club officers will be at the meetings over the next 2 days. Okay. Thank you, everybody. If there's nothing else, our next meeting will be Monday, February the 3rd, and I'm adjourning the meeting at 2:31. Thank you.